Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel Hobby Libby. My name is Libby. Very nice to meet you in this little corner of my hobby world. Knitting is one of my many hobbies and I approach knitting with a modern touch. So today is the part 3 of the video tutorial of 11 essential knitting techniques for complete beginners to knit a sweater or any project. In the part 1 of this video tutorial series, I introduced 7 essential knitting stitches to knit any sweater or project. In the video tutorial part 2, I introduced 2 essential shaping techniques, which are how to shape armholes and necklines and how to shape slopes for shoulder seams. So today is the last 2 techniques for the 11 essential techniques, which are 2 finishing techniques. I'm gonna show you how to stitch the pieces together after you are done knitting and how to pick up stitches around the neckline to knit the neckbands, and if you are knitting a cardigan, how to pick up stitches along the center of your front piece and knit the button bands. Sounds good? Okay, I already finished filming the demonstration. Here are the 2 techniques that I'm gonna show you today. So here it is. So just to disregard the bad color, like color combination, the reason I did this is because it's for demonstrating purpose. I want to show you more clearly how to do it. What I'm gonna show you is I'm gonna show you step by step how to stitch like 2 pieces together. The stitch here, you can see. And how to pick up the stitches around the neckline and to knit the neckband, also finishing off, which is binding off the neckband. So not a lot for today, but these 2 skills are very essential, especially if you are knitting a sweater, because this is like the final touches, like after you're done all the hard work of the knitting, and it's time for you to put everything together. So I understand that starting a YouTube channel with a series of technical video tutorials is hard from the standpoint of a YouTube channel, but I'm really a big advocate of knitting as a hobby. More than showing you how I can effortlessly finishing a project, I really want you to be able to do it as well. And that's why I spent the first month to film these tutorials to master the 11 essential knitting techniques. And really, because these are from my own knitting experience, after you master these 11 techniques, you can knit anything. So a little bit plan about my what to expect on my channel. I'm not gonna just do these like really boring and technical YouTube tutorials. There are a lot of fun projects coming up. The next projects that I'm gonna share on this channel, if you watched my 11 essential knitting techniques, you will be able to follow me to finish this project for yourself as well. So here, plan number 1 is after I finish the tutorial, I'm gonna frog these sweater that I've knitted. So not the sweater pieces. So interesting story. This is a sweater that I started working on before I started this YouTube channel. So I already knitted all the pieces for the sweater, for this sweater. This sweater is an inspiration from the viral, very popular sweater from a brand called Totem. I think the retail price is about $500. Here is a picture. So it's gonna be a simple sweater with a blanket stitch decoration. Now, but I have a change of mind. This is why knitting is such a great hobby, because you can always change your mind. If you were sewing, after you cut the fabric, you cannot reuse it, right? But so this, for knitting, you can frog it and redo. So I changed my mind is because this yarn is a wool blend yarn. I wouldn't say it's bad. I got it at a very affordable price from Temu. But after I've been looking at this sweater for a month, I feel like this yarn is not suitable for simple stitches like this. It looks cheap. So what I'm gonna do is I have an exciting project lining up. I'm gonna frog this sweater and use this yarn to reknit my pom-pom sweater. So this is this sweater is the sweater that rekindled my passion for knitting. And I'll talk more about this sweater later. This is a Joanne inspired pom-pom sweater, which was very popular 3 years ago. I think the retail price was about $500. I was so in love with the sweater, and I just started knitting again. So this is the sweater. Especially for this one, it has more story to it. I'm gonna talk about it when I'm knitting this sweater in this yarn. And by the way, I knitted this sweater. I was so obsessed with this sweater. I knitted for about like 6 sweaters of this style, and then I stopped knitting for 2 years because it really hurt my eyes. So that's project number 1. And also, another reason that I changed my mind is the other day I was at Joanne. I found this beautiful yarn. This is 100% roving wool yarn. It's so beautiful. The color is beautiful, and everything about this yarn is so beautiful. I already did the swatches, so I think this yarn is very suitable for that totem sweater that I was talking about. So I'm gonna use this yarn to knit that totem sweater. Yeah, so that's coming soon. So that's another, and that sweater is gonna be so easy to knit. And if you watched my video tutorial that I've been busy making for the last month, you will be able to knit this sweater. You can follow me and knit this sweater. I guarantee you can knit it for yourself. So that's another project that's coming on your way. And also, of course, you remember this one, this chunky knit sweater I was talking about when I was filming the first video tutorial of the 7 essential stitches. Yeah, this yarn, the chunky yarn, I mentioned that I'm going to reknit my chunky knit sweater from that brand. So I was going to reknit that chunky sweater. So I'm gonna reknit that. I'm gonna frog this off and knit that chunky sweater right here. And I also have I have a problem with yarn now. So the other day, again, this is from Joanne as well, I got this beautiful yarn. It's like wool alpaca. It's so soft and beautiful. I like the color gray. So I have plans for this yarn. Actually, I have something exciting. To show you. This is also finished before I started making YouTube tutorials. So it's this sweater that I knitted. This is a sweater. Okay. So this is a sweater that I got inspiration from the designer brand, Loyalty sweater, because I saw that sweater. It was like $1,500, I think, and I remembered I have some mohair yarns, so I tried to knit this sweater. I think this was knit 2 months ago, and yeah, it's very nice. It's really beautiful. But the yarn, again, this is a test run, so the yarn is not that great. I wouldn't necessarily say it's bad, but it's just not ideal until I found this yarn. So I'm gonna reknit this sweater in this yarn, and actually, I'll show you a picture here. They have the exact same color. I think it's gonna be gorgeous, and this is wool alpaca, so the quality is gonna be very nice. And this is the perfect yarn. I have to say, this is the perfect yarn for that sweater. And also, the designer brand also has a vest, in this yarn. And also they have a scarf. They all have the same techniques. So, depends on how many yarn I have. I probably will knit 2 of them at least. Probably the scarf and the sweater, or the vest. I will see. Okay, before I frog these sweater pieces that I knitted, I do have one more video tutorial, which is what I mentioned in my first video tutorial about my white bow sweater. So I will use these swatches to show you how to knit a sweater without a pattern, without buying a pattern to be exact. So after I finish that tutorial, I think for some time I won't make any technical video tutorials. I will start knitting all the projects that I mentioned, because now the winter is coming, it's holiday season. I think it's time to knit something warm for myself and for my family members. It's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm actually very excited to finish filming these technical video tutorials. not only I want you to watch me knitting, I want you to start knitting as well. So, and I promise you, as long as you watch those tutorials and really follow it to try to practice, you can knit everything that I'm gonna show you in the next 1 or 2 months. And you can start knitting gifts for your family from like right now. It sounds exciting, right? So without further ado, let's dive into today's video tutorial. Okay, here is an overview of the sweater pieces that I'm about to stitch together. So here, this one is the back piece, and this one is the front piece. And these are the shoulder lines, the shoulder seams, and this is back neckline, and this is front neckline. So what I'm about to do is I'm gonna sew these two shoulder lines together, shoulder seams together. So this is the front shoulder seam and this is the back shoulder seam. And this is the back shoulder seam and this is the front shoulder seam. So these two together and these two together. Okay, so the tools you need for this step is very simple. You need like a plastic needle like this with a big hole here so the yarn can go through. This you can buy it anywhere. And also you need a scissor, of course, and some yarn. So I have some leftover yarn like this. I'm just because I'm using a different color yarn to demonstrate. So I'm gonna use this yarn and I'm gonna start stitching. So here I'm gonna start from one side. So first step, I'm gonna sew these two together. This is the, I think this is the right arm. Yeah, usually you need when you're stitching them together, just be generous of your yarn. I think you probably need usually twice is fine, but I usually like to go at least 3 times the yarn. And and then the first step, this is very basic, guys. So you put your yarn through the needle like this, like so. Just sometimes if the yarn is too big, you twist a little bit. So here we are now. We threaded our needle and now I'm gonna start sewing. So I hope everything is clear. So here, okay, here. You can start from either side. You can start from the shoulder side, or you can, so this is the arm, the shoulder, outer shoulder. And this is the side neckline. So, you know, this is the neckline, right? So this is the neck. Or you can start from either side, or you can start from the other side. I'm gonna start from this side, the neck side. So first, pull through. The first step is you need to secure your yarn. So so just here. And what you do is, so you sew these two together. So you go this side and connect. The first step is to connect. Okay, so you pick up some yarn from the side. So this is the first step, is to connect. So can see now, these are connected, right? So now the yarn is at this side. So now we go to this side. Okay, so here I'm going to show you. So here I just pick, okay, the yarn go here. You pick like two stitches. Okay, here, let me see. So, and pull. Now these two is connected. Here it's connected, and then this is your working yarn, and you go to the other side. So the yarn is now on this side, and then you go to the other side and pick 2 stitches. You pick 2 stitches. You can see that clearly. And to pull the yarn, you see, you pull the yarn. So here you already stitched these together. So remember, you need to work on the front side of your sweater, because this way you work on your front side and the seam goes to the wrong side. Let's do more stitches here. So again, now the yarn is on this side, now you go to this side. Go to the other side. Always go to the other side of your working yarn. Now you go this side again, and you pick 2 stitches along the edge. You pick 2 stitches, and you pull. See? Okay. And then now the yarn is at this side, right? So you go to the opposite side to pick 2 stitches, just to, along the seam. And you pull. When you pull tightly, it didn't show. It doesn't show on the front side, and the seam goes to the other side. Let's do several more times. So the yarn is on this side, and then we go to the opposite side to pick up 2 stitches again, and pull here like this. And then you go to the other side again. You don't have to be very exact, because this is why knitting is easy, because it's very stretched, it's very forgiving. Okay, so now you made another stitch, and then so don't so always put your yarn away and then pick up stitches. So if you pick up stitch here and then like this side, and then you pick up stitches, it will create a cross. It won't be good. So again, so put the yarn away from you, and then pick up stitches here, 2 stitches along the edge of the seam, and pull, just like that. Very clean. And then again, then we're going to do the other side again. Make sure the yarn is away, and then pick another 2 stitches from this side. And pull. Okay, very easy. So again, away from yours, like that, and then we just repeat. We're gonna repeat the process until both seams are sewed together. So if you knitted your pattern well, these 2 should be identical. So, but even they're not identical, you can just adjust again, because this is, as I said, these are very stretchy. It's very forgiving, even if you made some mistakes. So, but it's always a good idea, like a good practice, when you are sewing 2 seams together, to make sure they're about the same length. If they're not, you can kind of just adjust the tension a little bit. So here, I'm perfect. My lengths are matched perfectly. So I'm just gonna pick stitches and keep stitching. You can do it. Once you know how to do this, you can do it very quickly. And then, yeah, we'll get the very last several stitches. Okay. Here you go. Now, this seam is stitched together. So here, as I said, I used a different yarn for the demonstration purpose, so you can see it better. So again, you stitch from the correct side, and if you stitch this way, the seam is going to the opposite side. So the wrong side is going to be like this, and you can barely see the stitch, like here. So, but like, so if you stretch it, of course you can see it, but if just a natural way like this, you won't be able to see it. So that is how it's done. This is one shoulder done, and next I'm gonna do the other side. So next I quickly stitched the other shoulder seam together, and this time I'm using the yarn from the swatch, which means the yarn that I left while I was knitting the pieces. So I need to stitch the other shoulder seam together because I need to form the neckline, so I can show you how to do the neckband. Now I've stitched both shoulder seams together, and now we have a neckline formed, and we can work on this to knit the neckband. Okay, so it's the same stitching technique when you are connecting your armholes, connecting your sleeve caps with your armholes, but I'm not gonna do the tutorial here today because I want to keep this simple since it's a beginner tutorial. I will in the future to have another video tutorial to show you how to connect your shoulder caps to the armholes. So that's more advanced and it's for future videos. Okay guys, now let's work on the neckline. Here is the piece that we're working on, and okay, just to recap, this is the front neckline, this is the back neckline, and the shoulder seam is already stitched together. Now we're gonna knit the neckband, which means we knit. So here there are some stitches. So this is part of the pattern. So basically, when I was knitting the neckline, I already saved these just to put it on the stitches on the needle. So basically, this is the neckline. What we need to do is we're gonna reuse these stitches, but we're gonna pick up stitches around this area, same as this area, to make a circle, and then we knit the circle to finish knitting the neckband. Does that make sense? Okay, so what we're gonna do, the first step, we're gonna pick up stitches. Okay, so again, there are many ways to do this, to pick up stitches and knit, but since this is a beginner tutorial, I want to make it easy to follow and understand, so I'm gonna choose the way that's easy to understand. Okay, let's do it. So picking up stitches, see, there's a braid. This is a braid, so we pick up in the middle. So this is very easy when you see a braid. So basically this one, and then there's a braid. So you kind of read from the below, and see, this is a braid, and then another braid is here. So this is not like, you don't have to be extremely exact. It's just you pick up stitches to knit and make sure you don't leave holes. Okay, so that's a braid, and then the next braid is this braid. Okay, so yeah, let's redo. Okay, braid. So basically you pick every other stitches, like this one, and I skip one and this one, and then skip one and this one. Yeah, the first one is easy. There's you can see it's all the way from here, but when we are working on this like curve lines, we just follow the edge and pick one, like here, see this one, I'm gonna skip one and pick up this one. See, there are 2 stitches along the edges. You don't pick like all, you need to pick like every one, so it's not too crowded. So I skip one, skip this one, and pick the next one, and then I'm gonna skip one again and I pick the next one. So when you pick up stitches, make sure there's no holes. If there's a holes, you just pick more stitches. So this is very straightforward. It's not like very strict. It's kind of, you can do it freely. So the basic rule is like pick one and skip one, but if there's holes, and we're gonna, it depends on the situation. So I picked one and skip one, and I'm gonna skip one again, pick one, there's a skip one. Okay, let me show you. Okay, just follow the same technique to pick up all the stitches around the neckline, and then you will form a circle of your neckline and ready to knit the neckband. So now I'm gonna start knitting. So you can leave like an end here so you can see it more clearly. I'm gonna knit one by one neckband, which means one knit and one purl. So the next is very straightforward. You just keep knitting one by one a rib, which is one knit and one purl, and until you get your desired width of your neckband. After finishing knitting the neckband, it's time to bind off. Okay, I'm gonna use a needle to assist me to bind off. See, this is where we started and this is where we're gonna bind off. So if you're using the same color, just in case, it's a good idea to put a stitch mark here. But since I'm demonstrating in a different color, it's easy for me to tell, so I'm not just gonna show you how to bind off. So again, this is a beginner tutorial, so I'm gonna use the easiest binding off stitch, which I introduced in my 7 stitches tutorial. So I just still follow the pattern. So here it's a knit, I'm gonna knit, still knit, and this is purl, I'm gonna purl, and I'm gonna bind off. Okay, so I'm still like following the stitch, bind off. This is a purl now, following the stitch and bind off. So just keep binding off until you bound off all the stitches. This binding off stitch, I already introduced it in my 7 essential knitting stitches, and there was a step-by-step tutorial over there. So just if you don't know how to do it, just go to watch that tutorial. And now you have it. Your neckband is finished. Okay guys, that's it for today's tutorial. I hope you found it easy to understand and follow. I think today's video tutorial is probably the easiest one for this series. So I really wish you would start picking some yarn and needle and start practicing. And as I mentioned, I have a lot more exciting projects lining up. If you follow my tutorials, you will be able to finish the project that I'm gonna knit. So I hope you found today's video tutorial helpful. If you enjoy my video content, please like, subscribe, and share with your knitting friends. Until next time, keep knitting. I'll see you soon. Bye!